This city doesn't hand out respect. It watches. It waits. Then, when you've proven it, it remembers your name. And once it does, you don't need to talk loud. You just take your seat back here and tell the truth. All right. Hello. Welcome to this week's edition of Backseat Ballers. We have a new guest, Gabe Brown. And what's the name of your business?
Brothers Fence.
Brothers Fence.
Yeah.
All right. And we're going to get into all that later on. But right now, we're making the introduction between him and Elijah and the I Am Foundation, which we do every episode.
Sir, let's go. Nice to meet you, man.
That's where I bounced it. You two take it.
Yeah. I appreciate your opportunity.
Yeah.
First of all, about to be learning more about your business, what you're doing. And then also, what you guys did not know, allowing the kids to learn how to set fences up and do it. So we have a large future opportunity here. But yeah, the I Am Foundation, like lead, encourage, and motivate others to see themselves greater. And you have an amazing opportunity to do that.
Awesome.
And I can't wait to hear more about your story.
There's a lot there. There's a whole lot.
I know when we briefly talked, you're like, yeah, you know, like I dropped out. I don't want to take it from Elliot, but it's like I dropped out.
Don't be stepping up thunder.
Sorry, gotta take it, guys. Watch out. No, but dropped out and you came, like you're built a whole business, you know.
There's a whole lot before all that. I mean, it was basically dropping out of high school was the first step towards the downward spiral into the the bottom of the bottom, where you either got one option, you either go up or you stay there. So it's like either rise or, and it's all God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. I put it on Him.
Yeah.
But drinking alcohol,
Yeah.
DUIs, sent me to prison for 4 years.
Jeez.
That was probably the bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
I lost a cousin while I was in there that I talked to every day.
Yeah.
And that was probably when I kind of turned around and started, leaning on God, saying, help me. What
Yeah.
are you going to do in there? You ain't got nobody else.
I can't rely on
You
nobody
ain't,
else.
and, man, I just turned around and I started thinking, God, I got put in prison.
Yeah.
I thank God I got put in prison. It's
That's
crazy,
real.
but it's the truth.
Yeah.
There's guys next door to me crying about, they're getting out in 5 years, but he took out a whole family. He's got to live with that. And he don't even care, obviously. I'm over here like, thank you, God, for not, putting that body on my head for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like all you did was just sit me down for a minute and force me into, looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Taking accountability. That's the number one thing. If you want change, you got to take yourself and, or just take accountability for the issues.
Yes.
And the issues for me was alcohol. It's crazy, but literally just again this year, I threw it up on the shelf.
Let's go.
It's crazy, ain't it?
Yes.
Still to this day, it's the battle. It don't go away.
Yeah, and that's what we do in the program. Like, exactly that. Like, what is the problem that you're facing? Where, like, is it stemming from? And I'm telling you, long nights, long days, long conversations, but we have an opportunity to, like, attack it where it's at right there. So when we get older, we're like, dang, I'm going to have to suffer from this, and I can't wait to listen to more. Guys, I'm appreciative for him sharing his, organization and finances with the I Am Foundation. If you haven't donated or provided a gift, please do. I Am Foundation, lead, encourage, and motivate others to see what? Them greater than their circumstances. Thank you.
As always, Elijah, pleasure.
This guy is funny, okay? Just wait, you'll see. He's funny.
All right, you ready to go do this?
Let's go, bro.
All right, looking forward to it.
Sir.
Yeah, so let's get into it a little bit. Like, tell me a little bit about your background.
I grew up here, Kansas City, in a town, Blue Springs, and kind of moved all over the city. Parents got divorced, and
How old were you?
7.
Oh, okay.
7 is pretty young.
How many siblings you got?
3 brothers. I've got a half sister now that my dad remarried and adopted, and she's actually still pretty young. She's like 10. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, she's got nieces and nephews that are older than her. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, when you were 7, how old were your brothers?
So I got an older brother that is like, less than a year and a half older than me.
Okay.
We're running buddies. That's my best friend, Andy Brown. He's awesome.
And you said running buddies?
Running buddies. I mean, we did everything together growing up.
Oh, okay.
If he was there, I was there too. So
that's awesome.
He's my best friend. And
sweet.
Then my little brother's 5 years younger than me. We were never running buddies like me and Andy were, because he was just younger. But what's funny is now as adults, me and him is closer than, like, that's my best friend. I mean, besides my wife. My wife's my best friend, number one. But in terms of, like, I'm just so close to my brother Daniel. It's kind of crazy how we lived for so long without a good relationship, and now it's just insane. I lean on him for everything, and he vice versa, and so it's kind of cool.
That is cool to hear.
It's growing as years went on. So
yeah,
but I just kind of moved all around Kansas City. Ended up in North Kansas City, like Berry Road area, Park Hill High School. Dropped out of high school up there.
What grade did you drop out?
That was junior.
Your junior? Wow, your junior year you dropped out.
It's crazy. Yep, I just kind of was interested in other things other than doing schoolwork or showing up and listening to somebody tell me what to do, and I don't know. It was just kind of a...
So were you 16, 17?
Yeah, 16, 17. Was into all the bad stuff, and probably the drinking was the worst. It's the one thing that's always been kind of that hair on the hair of the dog. It's always been on my back. I can't get it off, that scratch. And man, I think I've finally found a reason to live without it, and I'm just a better person without it, man. It's taken so much from me over my lifetime. I mean, it took my teens away. It took my 20s away. Whether that was getting DUIs and getting sentenced to prison eventually after the 5th one.
Oh wow!
I mean, it was.
When did you start drinking?
I think I was 11 when I had my first beer.
Wow!
So started smoking cigarettes. Thought I was just the coolest thing. 11 years old. It honestly, what if I can take away anything from that situation with my parents and just everything, like I tell my wife all the time, no matter what. There's nothing that she can do that's going to make me want to divorce her. I mean, obviously there's some things that are pretty vulgar, and I probably wouldn't stick around. But in terms of our relationship, like, you be as crazy as you want. I don't care. I'm gonna love you for your crazy, and because I want my kids to have.
So you feel like the divorce?
It really threw. I feel like my childhood was somewhat robbed.
Text, LOL.
To be honest,
messages.
As an adult, I feel like it was somewhat robbed just because I didn't have those two parents. I was just pulled between households, man. I don't know where you come from a split household at all.
My parents divorced, but I was already out of the house, living in Southern California, and I was 20 years old.
See, I was a young kid too. I didn't really understand even what having two parents in the same household was. What it was. It was just the times, but it's given me the that, like I said, my kids are gonna know how much their daddy loves their mommy and how much the mommy loves their daddy and how much they're loved, and I just want to make sure that they see that because it's true love. I love my wife and I'd do anything for her, to the end of the day. There's nobody else, just her.
How long have you been married?
We actually just celebrated 5 years on July 20th.
Congrats.
Yep, it was pretty cool,
Congrats.
Man. We had a great trip. She'd never been to Hot Springs, Arkansas. I went when I was a kid, and she'd never been there at all, so she got to do some bathhouses and stuff. That was cool. But, she's my success.
Yeah.
Truly. She's the rock that's held me down and made me want change. Truly, I wanted change, but she gave me the ultimate reason too, and still this day,
All right, I want to come back to a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go in an order I don't normally go. I want to jump forward.
Okay.
To where you're at today. And I do want to talk about your business, and then we're going to come back, and I want to get into like a lot of the psychological aspects, a lot of this, because I think there's just an incredible story here. But I think to put it in the right context as we talk about it, I think it'd help for people to know. So you've been married for 5 years. How old are you?
38.
38. You've been married for 5 years. You have children.
Yep.
How many?
3. Boy Lucas is 6, and then Emerson's 4. And then I have another little boy, Hunter is 2.
Oh, cool.
Yep, it's a It's a circus.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And when did you get into the fencing business?
Well, I was talking to a buddy while I was in prison and asked him if he'd give me a job when I got out, because not too many places want to offer a felon a job. And he started a fence company, and yeah, I'd love to hire you. You know, he's my buddy. I knew him, and so I started working for him doing the fencing. And that was 2015, 16, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So about 10 years now I've been fencing. About 10 years. My business I started in 2020.
All right. So you start. So let's see. When did you get out of prison?
It was 2015.
2015,
Yep.
and you went to work for your buddy who had the fencing business.
Yep.
All right. And in 2020, you decided to start your own. Why? What happened? Like, did something happen between you and your buddy?
No. So actually, I quit that job later that year.
Okay.
Or no, actually, I take that back.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm not Mexican. What am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kidding.
Actually, what happened was I got out of prison.
Right.
I worked a little bit, and I ended up going back for another year.
To prison.
Yep.
Okay.
I went back to for prison for a year. I violated my parole.
Okay. Can I ask, like, what?
I got charges out in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
And because I got the driving charges, I was actually in the passenger seat. But whatever happened, the charges all got dismissed. But because of that, just because even though I wasn't guilty, they still sent me back for a year. Which, honestly, it was it was what really kind of set everything in stone. That, man, I'm making a change for the better, and I'm never going back. You know,
awesome.
It was the hardest year. You know, it was the hardest time that I'd had in terms of just being away from my family. You know, you let them all down again. You know, they finally start believing in you, or hopeful for you. You know, you get out, and it was just a hard year. But fast forward, I got out. My girlfriend at the time, she had moved into my place and kind of held me down for a year. I mean, that's my wife now. Her name's Chelsea.
Oh, okay. So okay. Awesome.
She rode through some really, really hard times that most people would have bailed, but she didn't. And she should have, but she didn't. She seen something that, most didn't, and, took it and ran. And I got out, and I just was set and determined to, get moving forward and, leave everything else in the past. I got a bit of advice from my dad right when I got out that time, and it's something that I passed along, but it's truly what kind of shaped me. And it was, he said, "You ever been canoeing?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You ever tried canoeing upstream?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, what would happen, or what happens?" And I said, "Well, I don't really get anywhere." He's like, "Yeah, but what would happen if you just kept going?" And I said, "Well, I guess I'd just get tired." And he goes, "Well, what would happen then?" "Okay, Dad." I said, "Well, the current would take me." He goes, "Right. So why don't you just stop fighting it right now? Just let go and let God." He says, "Stop trying to take that oar and pedal backwards and fix all these mistakes and all these problems, and instead just let go and let the current take you, and start focusing on what's in front of you, because you got lots of gifts that are coming your way when you're living right. And if you're so focused on the past, you're never going to be able to see what's coming at you." He says, "So instead, take that oar and use it as an udder and steer yourself to the things you want." He said, "If something passes by you and you think, man, I really wish I would have grabbed it, just remember that for next time and grab it. Don't regret it. Just learn from the lesson." And that really stuck with me. I just stopped
awesome.
I just stopped trying to create my own life into something that I wanted it to be, and instead just kind of started chasing just what was in front of me. And I think truly, I didn't even know at the time I was chasing happiness, and I was just looking for, just, man, I don't know. Not to go back to prison, number one.
Yeah.
I knew God was a big part of it, big part of the reason why I, was where I was. And man, I took my opportunity. I went back to work for my buddy. I rode my mountain bike up to rode the bus downtown Kansas City from Independence. It stopped like 8 miles from where he worked, so I had to ride the rest of the way. This is at 6 a.m., I'm hopping on the bus.
Yeah.
But come that winter, I told him I wanted some more money, my buddy, and I thought, for sure, okay. And he told me, "No, I ain't giving you no more money. Matter of fact, we're approaching winter. You're probably not going to have much to do here for a couple months until we pick back up. And I was like, well, all right then. And I ended up finding a job at a warehouse because one of my buddies worked there and I could catch a ride every day. My wife didn't have to pick me up. She'd come and pick me up sometimes from work and take me to work when it was cold or raining or whatever. And now my buddy was just picking me up and it was great. And I realized real fast that working inside was not me staring at that clock all day, trying to, just burn time. You think you burn an hour and it was 10 minutes. And me and her, my wife now, me and her almost actually split up. It was bad. We were coming into church one day. I'll never forget it. We're sitting in line, big old line to get into church. And across the street from it is this fence company, and they got just piles. They got piles of material. I mean, it's sky high. And I'm sitting there looking at it going, man, if anybody could afford me or know what somebody's worth and pay him, I bet that guy could. And so next day was Monday. We had my lunch and I pulled them up on Facebook and it said that they reply immediately. So I was like, okay, well, I just basically shot him this is what all I can do. And, here's my resume, my fence resume, essentially. And it wasn't 2 minutes. My phone's ringing and it's the owner of the company saying, I want to hire you. When can you start?
Oh, wow. All right.
And how much do you want? And I told him and he's like, yeah, I don't know you from nothing. I'll start you out at this. Okay. I was like, well, that's fine and all. And I'm good with that.
Wait. How far off of what you wanted did he offer you?
It was only
50% or?
No, I was looking for, $18-20 an hour, and he was like, let's not start everybody off at 15, but I'll tell you this. Yeah, which that was fine. I was making like 12 there at the other place. Yeah. So it was $3 more. Plus I knew I was going to love it.
Yeah.
And it sucks to be blunt. The fencing sucks. It's very, very horrible work. Yeah. Some days are better than others, but it's tough. But I was excited and the guy said, I can't pay you anything more right now, but I'll start you here. And at 60 days, I'm going to sit you down and we'll go over it and I'll give you a raise if you deserve it. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to give this guy 60 days of my life and see what happens. And it was like day 59. I knew what day it was,
You've been counting down.
I was waiting that day for something and nothing. And then that night, probably like 7 o'clock at night, I get a phone call. It's him. And he was like, hey, man, I just want to tell you thanks. You're doing awesome. I'm giving you $2 more on your next paycheck. I was like, sweet. Or on this paycheck. I was like, sweet. I finally struck gold.
Yeah.
$2 raise. That's huge.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm finally at a place that might appreciate me. And
you didn't have to ask him. You didn't have to bug. He was a man of his word. He had integrity.
He called. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Because, how many people do you think have been told that? And that 59th, 60 day came.
I believed.
And they never heard a word from them. And they had to go to them and then they get some bullshit excuse as to why it's not going to happen, right?
Exactly. I thought that's what it was going to be.
That says a lot about that guy.
Huh?
It says a lot about that guy. And it says a lot about the work you did for that 59 days.
The sucky part is that they're all changed. I was in a place. I went to church with this man and his wife. He talked about my kid running his business one day. Just like the total facade of, you're part of this family now.
Yeah.
To back up, he gave me my $2 raise.
Okay.
Most people would probably slow down or not,
go
forward even harder.
Yeah, they got what they wanted. They funded it.
Yeah, no, instead of me, it lit a fire in me. I'm like, this guy will pay me. Yeah, exactly. But in my head, I'm like, this guy, he's going to pay me. All right, well, I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can. I want more money. That's not enough.
Yeah.
He calls me the next week, and he goes, hey, man, I just wanted to tell you thank you. I see you. You got another $2.50 on this next paycheck, too. I said, you got to be shitting me.
So you're up at $19.50 an hour?
I'm at $19.50 an hour within 60 days. I'm sitting here praising the Lord. God, I can't believe this is happening. I'm in the right place with the right people. And I was for the time being. It's not a mistake. It was all purpose. And I learned so much over the next, 4 years. I ended up coming from just, a guy without a driver's license that, had to have somebody drive around, which I always had to have that. That's a whole nother story, boy, about a license. My God. But it is, man. That's insane. But, but I always had to have somebody drive me. And so I was kind of, not as good as I could have been, essentially for this guy.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, I was his best guy at the end of it. The number one, I did all of his big commercial jobs. The only one he would allow to run, machinery on job sites. And but I had by this time, me and my wife were pregnant. So I buy a house in Pleasant Hill where I live now. I wanted a place with 5 acres, somewhere I could raise my kids on. And I ended up having to just take what I could get. And I spent like $130,000 more money I'd ever spent in my life. I took a loan out, biggest loan I ever took. We have the baby. She becomes an at-home mom. She 4 months later is pregnant.
Oh,
yeah. We're living off $50,000 a year, more money than I've ever made in my life. I am rich. I'm rich, buddy. I mean, it was crazy. And
rich bitch.
I'm serious, man. Life was good, and I was happy. I was doing some side jobs. I would, hit my boss up. Hey, can I use your wheelbarrows and diggers this week? And I got a little job to do. Yeah, go ahead. And I'd be doing work, and so I'd make extra coin on the side here and there. But maybe 5 jobs I'd done on the side, before I got fired. But what happened was my wife, when she got pregnant again, she was going through postpartum depression, and we had no idea.
Oh, okay.
We had no idea that, she was kind of, down in the pits, but she would be calling me saying, I need you here, come home, And so what I would do at that time is I would just drive my vehicle, because I could drive then. I'd drive my vehicle to the job sites. And after I got my job done, I'd just drive straight home instead of taking another hour to go back to the shop. So I just drive straight home. Well, what come to light is that he was thinking I was running from there to go do a side job. I was building a business. Well, then he caught wind that I bought an auger from one of our buddies, because a guy that worked for us was over at his house when I went to go pick it up. And so, of course, he runs back to our boss and he's like, hey, Gabe just bought a little beaver, this auger. And they're expensive, but I got a great deal on it. I couldn't pass it up. I'd spend 8-10 hours digging holes on a Saturday instead of an hour with this machine, and I could go back to my family.
Yeah.
And so that's all it was geared towards. But in his head, I was starting this business. And one Friday I was on my way home, and he calls me. He's like, hey, you need to come here and talk to me. I was like, I can't, I need to go home, and I'm sure he thought I was going to do some side job. And no, I need to go home with my wife. Well, if you don't come in right now, you ain't going to have a job come Monday morning. I said, all right, that's fine. I'll be in there right now, and so I go into the office, or I go into the shop. I can hear it in his voice, he's all whatever, and come into my office. I was like, no, if you want to talk to me, you can just come outside and talk to me. I'm not going to let you corner me and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, come be a man, talk to me face to face. Him and his wife, they walk out, sunglasses on, just start hammering me with all these accusations. And I'm just, every time they accuse me, I got an answer. And within 5 minutes, he's like, I can see where this is going. Just give me my keys. I said, that's fine, because you've already shown me that this was just a job. I thought it was a home. I was going to be here forever.
Yeah.
In my head, and come to find out it's just a job, and I can go get a job anywhere. I know my worth. I know, I know I can go get a job. So whenever he said that, I was like, that's fine, but my world was crushed. I walked away in tears, bawling,
Wow.
And it was a bad deal. I'm scared to death for my family. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just bought a new house, and just everything is all on my shoulders.
Yep.
And within seconds, it was, job was gone, security was gone. And he turns me around. Oh, I ain't done talking to you yet, and I turned around, looked at him. I said, check this out. I said, if you want to talk anymore, you got 2 options with me. I said, you're so worried about your schedule. You got all this work sold for 6 months under my name. I said, you can subcontract me out all that work. I said, and after it's all done, we can either keep working together or part ways. I said, or if you want to keep me on as an employee, I was still willing to work there. Wow. I said, if you want to keep me on as an employee, I said, I'll do all your commercial installs. And when I'm not busy doing that, I'll help you train your residential guys. So that way they're awesome. I mean, I thought it was a great deal, a great deal, but his pride just couldn't see it. And he's like, nope, threw me away like I was a piece of trash. It wasn't his way.
Yeah.
And so I just walked out of there jobless and didn't really know what I was going to do. And I knew I was going to find a job. So my buddy Brandon Barber, the guy I bought that auger from, he lived in the same town as I did. And so I called him up. I was like, hey, buddy, I need a job. I don't work there no more. And he was like, I'm sorry, I can't hire you. And I'm like, are you is it because of him? Because they're buddies. I was like, because of him, really, dude? And, and he,
nobody would think you could get blacklisted from the fence industry.
Yeah. In my head, that's what it was.
Yeah.
He cut that off so fast. He goes, it's not that. He goes, it's not that. He said, I don't want to hold you back from doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I just kind of looked at him. I'm like, well, what does that even mean, man? And he goes, you need to go get your LLC, go get your insurance. He's like, and then come see me. He says, I got tons of work. I'm not telling you I'll pay your bills, but I'll help you get by until you get your own work. And it definitely interested me.
That's awesome. What a good friend.
I know. But I immediately told him no. I was like, I don't know nothing about business. I'm like, just give me a job, Brandon. I was like, I'll make you tons of money. And he's like, I know, but that's the problem. You need to be making that money for you and your family.
Yeah.
And what a good friend. He probably could have made $150,000 off me that year. And I've been happy.
Yeah, right.
But that's the thing is he knew something I didn't, and he gave me that push. And so I actually called everybody else under the sun to ask, what I should do. I called everybody. I called my dad. My dad told me I was an idiot. He goes, boy, he got a couple questions real quick before he said it though. He goes, you got 6 months worth of living expenses saved up? I'm like, no. I said, I got $3,000 in my name. I'm going to buy my first, fence job material with it and push all in. And he's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, boy. He's like, you got a very young family, an at-home wife, and a mortgage due. He goes, you need to go get a job and start taking care of those babies. And I just kind of, at that time, I really felt like that's what I needed to do, And so then I actually prayed about it. And I asked God, I was like, give me my answer. What should I do? And I didn't get a yes or no. I got why haven't you asked your wife yet? She's the one I gave you, your helper. Why haven't you asked her yet?
That's awesome.
That's all I heard. And I just immediately I felt like an idiot for one.
Yeah.
She depends on me.
Life too, right?
Like she depends on me, the baby's everything. Like, why wouldn't she be my first call?
Yeah.
And it was a big eye opener, honestly, into, kind of a lot of stuff, with my marriage and, how a man should treat a woman and, include her, maybe not in some aspects, but something like that. Like, how big is it? So I went home that night and I said, babe, what do you want me to do? And she said, I want you to do whatever you want to do. She says, since we've been together, you've always made sure that we're okay. She's like, you've always taken care of us. She's like, we've never went without. She's like, I know it's not been perfect, but we've always managed to get by no matter what. She's like, so I know that no matter what you choose, I know it'll be the right thing. She's like, so you want to start a business? Great, let's do it. You want to go get a job? Great, let's do it. And so I don't know. At that time, when she kind of told me, gave me the blessing of she, has got my back if I do it. I was like, you know what? I can go get a job anywhere. I know my worth. I can go get a job anytime. I don't know if I'll ever get this opportunity again to be able to subcontract for my buddy. And so I kind of went in full force, got the LLC, got the insurance, borrowed my grandma's trailer, got my rusted out $1,600 Chevy pickup truck that's loud and, just an absolute nightmare, and just took a leap of faith, man. And I called my buddy, said I'm in, and I did 3 jobs for him. I called another big company in Kansas City, said, hey, I want to subcontract for you. I think I did 3 or 4 jobs for them. And as that's beginning, my wife, she's like, hey, let's get on Facebook. I'm like, that's stupid. There's no real companies on Facebook. And she's like, oh, you are absolutely wrong. She's like, but don't you worry about it. I'll handle it all. I was like, well, yeah, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. I'm not going to be able to do any of this.
Yeah.
I got fence to go build. I got money to go make for it.
That's right.
Yeah. And what a newfound glory I had too. I was making more money than I ever had doing the subcontract work. And so for me, that was everything that I needed to be doing. But she had a different hope. And man, that first weekend, she's like, what's your plan? She's like, you can't do anything this weekend. I got you booked up all Saturday and all day Sunday doing bids.
No way.
I looked at her, I'm
That
like,
fast.
well, yeah, it was the second week I opened my business, and she had us slammed with bids that weekend. I didn't even know what a bid was. I'm serious. I had no idea what a bid was. Actually, that chain link fence right there I sat.
Oh, really?
I swear to you, that was a long time ago too.
Look at that.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
I ain't been on this road since then. But
probably for good reason.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't like doing that fence by any means. I was not excited about it. But yeah. But
There is some interesting artwork.
oh yeah. Oh, it's a trip down here. This is a melting pot right here. Big time.
Well, those are my favorite places.
I think this is the old Irish community down here.
Really?
Yep. This is old Irish. There's an Irish pub still down here.
You're gonna make us some.
Then the other
pancakes.
bottoms is the old Italy.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm. But so anyways, I no clue what a bid was. I called my buddy. He said, take my contract down to the Gazette, have them take my name off, put your name on, change it however you want. But just whenever you go to give them their bids, just go off of these numbers. He gave me a full list of everything I need to bid price-wise to be able to make some money.
Wow.
And dude, I went out Saturday and I got home that night. I walked in the doors. I looked at my wife. I said, you're never going to believe what happened. She's at the door waiting on me to get home. I walked in. I said, you never believe what happened today. She goes, what? I said, I sold $30,000 in fish
Holy
today.
shnikes.
And she just, I mean,
In
me
a
and her,
day.
dude, yeah. I mean, I'm talking, my hair's standing up thinking about it.
Yeah. That was a good night.
We're crying, hugging,
Yeah.
just like, is
Is
this
that how
real?
you ended up with your third kid?
Is this? Oh, that's another really good story. The very first night away from my other two kids is whenever he happened. The one night, very first night.
That's hilarious.
But in a heart-shaped hot tub.
No.
Did it right, buddy.
That's right. That's awesome.
But so yeah, it just kind of, that was a spark. And every day I grab that steering wheel and I go, God, if this is real, hey, then yeah, I'm gonna keep going. As long as that steering wheel's there, I'm gonna wake up and grab it, and that was kind of my thing. I just kind of leaned on my faith. Obviously, you got to do the work too. It just doesn't, things don't just happen. But man, things do happen whenever you start living right and you go down that right road.
Yeah, and I love that analogy about like letting the water take you, man.
Yeah, it is, dude. Let the current take you. I got one more analogy too that my dad gave me that's amazing. That I just got. I think it was this year. I was struggling with speed bumps. I felt like I could do nothing right. Every time I do something else would happen, and then just just nothing. And I'm having a hard time. And I called my dad about it, and he's like, all right. He's like, we just preached on this last weekend. I was like, no way. He's like, oh yeah. He goes, it's real simple. He said, when you're doing the wrong thing, when you're doing the devil's work, he's happy. We're in the, we're in a spiritual, warfare down here. He's like, when you're doing wrong, the devil's going to leave you alone.
Yep.
He said, start doing the right thing and find out what happens. He goes, you'll have so many fires to put out because that devil just wants to get you.
Yep.
He's like, where's my good son at? And he goes, so whenever you're doing the right thing, but you're constantly getting, problems come your way. He's like, never look back or never look up and be like, why God or why, whatever, why does this happen to me? Instead, know what it is. See, it is that, that evil spirit and run at it, and you ain't stopping me. I got my armor on. And he goes, they're just speed bumps in the road. And he goes, and if you let those speed bumps deter you, he goes, you're going to miss what's around the corner that you can't see because there's something that's really, really, really good God's got planned for you that devil wants to steal from you. And you got to see it before it even happens and not let him steal it from you. That was kind of like, it made sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, it was like an epiphany moment, one of those just mind blown. I'm like, now whenever something bad happens, I just laugh at it. I laugh at it and look at it. I'm like, yep, I see you. You're not going to get me today.
Yeah.
But he's very slick also. And he knows your weaknesses.
So you sold $30,000 in a day.
One day.
And when was that? How long ago was that?
That was in July of 2020.
July of 2020.
Mid-COVID.
So here we are,
just
a
started.
full 5 years and a month later.
Yep.
And I don't want to normally I don't get too much into numbers.
Yep.
Right. But I really want people to understand how far you've come.
It's pretty nuts.
Right.
It's pretty nuts.
So can I ask, like, what's your gross revenue?
So to take it all the way back, that year I had 6 months in business.
Okay.
And in 6 months I sold $330,000 in fence.
Holy Toledo.
It changed my life. I made with the employment that I had of 6 months and then with the business, I ended up getting taxed on like 90 grand that year.
Yeah.
It was just.
And you were thrilled making 50.
Oh, I was over the top thrilled. So now I'm like, I like electric bicycles.
Yeah. It's easy to spend it, isn't it?
I've been broke my entire life. I lived paycheck to paycheck. So yeah, having a little bit extra coin, I was like, oh man. And you know what I did? So when I got fired, I was using my vacation time 2 weeks later to go marry my wife in Dillon, Colorado on the lake. Yep. And I got fired. Guess what? I didn't get my 2 weeks paid vacation.
Of course not.
But guess what? In those 2 weeks, I made more money than I ever made in my life. And I took my wife and my son, and she was pregnant. We had my daughter in her belly. And I took her out there. Actually, I lost my wallet. I left my wallet at the hotel on the way, and luckily they overnighted it. And I arrived at the mail office like 2 minutes after they closed. I knocked on the door, and the lady opened the door and went and retrieved my mail. And it was awesome. Saturday or whatever it was, and we're gonna be screwed. But anyways, we somehow, some way got married, had an amazing trip. Never worried about. I was so worried about the coin, before, I'm not really worried, but just kind of wondering, like, man, I hope I can pay for all this kind of thing. And somehow, some way, there was no worry there. It just all worked right on out. And so that first year, I sold $330,000 in sales. Total mind blown. The guy I started Brothers Fence with, it was just my buddy. We'd work on the weekends building some fences. So when I actually started business, I'm like, what am I gonna name it? Well, I started with my buddy that I've known since I was 5, and we're best friends. We're like brothers. And so I was like, Brothers Fence, that sounds awesome. So I just went with it. Well, he kind of seen me going, and we couldn't hang out anymore. We'd hang out on the weekends building fence. Well, the weekends I'm bidding fence. So during the week I'm building it. And so we didn't get to hang out. Well, he was an inside salesman. Come like February, he calls me. He's like, Gabe, I quit my job. I'm coming to work for you. I want to come sell fence. Because I've been telling him I need somebody to sell fence for me. I'm too busy. I can't wear all these hats.
Yeah.
And he took a leap of faith and ended up coming to work for me. And so that was a real big growth. And he ended up actually, that's a whole nother story. We'll move on from that. He's actually back in my life, and we're tighter than we've ever been. It was crazy. It was a big old nightmare. Envy, money, just greed and bad. But
but today, do you have employees?
I got, I think, close to 20 of them.
20 employees.
I did 330 the first year. The next year I did $1.7 million.
Oh my goodness.
The year after that, I hired on a guy that was my friend. He owned his own fence company for 40 years. I hired him on January 1st, and he put another $1 million on my books. I did $2.7 million my second full year in business, and it's been right around 3 cents.
Dude, that is incredible.
It is incredible.
So I'm going to summarize that, because then we're going to come back because I really want to get into the building blocks of who you are and what allowed this all to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So just to summarize, you drop out of high school your junior year.
Yep.
You're an alcoholic.
Yep.
Multiple DUIs.
Yep.
Multiple prison stints.
Yep.
To incredibly married with a multi-million-dollar business, providing work for 20 employees. That's a fucking story.
That's crazy, bro.
All right. Yeah, that is. And I love your faith too. So we're going to put a pin in that. We're going to go get some food.
Yeah.
And then when we get back, we're going to work to uncover like the psychological underpinnings that have enabled you to become this.
Yeah.
Because I think this is phenomenal.
It's all God. That's where I'll put it simply, is the faith. And then from there, it all trickles down. It's how it's the only thing that makes sense. And, and if you walked in my shoes, you'd be knowing.
Yeah. All right.
What it was. So.
All right. Let's go get a bite to eat and a drink.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Well, that Wolfpack barbecue sure was pretty good.
Hey, thank you. That was very good. Very good.
Yeah. Hopefully, after those 7 margaritas, I can get us home.
Get us home.
So, I thought we ended off with a pretty awesome recap of what you've resulted in. And obviously the journey's not over, right?
Yeah.
But Now,
in progress.
I kind of want to go back because get back into, there's some really interesting stuff here, I feel like, right? So you started drinking at 11. Your parents got divorced when you were 7. But your dad seemed to has a lot of wisdom. So
yeah.
What was going on with him and you at that point in your life?
Man, I don't know. I was a young boy that knew it all, and I don't know. I think the bounce between households, living one way this weekend and living a different way this week, and
did it just create the opportunity for you to be like have less supervision?
Yeah, really that was so my dad was always the one that was holding me accountable, and nobody likes to be told they're doing the wrong thing or have to deal with the the consequences of it. And he was he was a good daddy. He held he held me to a standard, and I just was rebellious.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was hurt, pain, whatever it was. I don't know. I've never seen a therapist for any of it, but I think it's just a lot of too much freedom. Honestly, is probably the cost in it all.
Yeah, too much freedom at the wrong age.
Yep.
So you mentioned also that like you have the ability to like see, like you told me you asked people if they're chiefs or Indians.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to use that analogy anymore as white people in America.
I'll keep doing it.
Especially after the downfall of Crack Barrel.
Yeah.
But and you said that you know what they are before they tell you. What do you think?
Did I know what they are before?
Yeah. So what
in my head, what
gives you that insight?
I see the leadership qualities in them.
How'd you learn what leadership qualities are?
I think it comes from being a leader. I'm not here to toot my own horn necessarily, but at 18 years old,
okay.
18, 19, I got a job working at BC, had this company building retaining walls.
Okay.
And huge, giant, big walls, commercial, and we had to throw 100-pound blocks physically from the pallet to the wall. And it was a job.
Sounds like a rap song.
Oh,
from
man.
the pallet to the wall.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
The sweat drops down the.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
there was a whole lot of work involved in it, and I never should have, kept going. But for some reason, I just kept going, and then next thing you know, I'm a 19-year-old kid, and there's 4, 5, 6 grown men working underneath me, and I'm the boss of this job site. I've got.
And you got no idea how that happened.
Yeah, I'm a kid. I'm still just a kid, and but I was.
Come on. Let's think back. Let's break this down. Let's figure this out. Let's crack the code.
Yeah.
What was it you would do that they didn't?
I was always watching other people that were above me and learning off of what they were doing, how they were moving, and I was looking to be more like them because I knew I wanted more. I wanted to climb the ladder. I wanted to be a leader. I was strong-minded in my head. I knew it. I was that 14-year-old boy that defined his dad. That Dad's wrong. Dad don't know nothing. I know better. I'm still that boy. I was so headstrong. And
okay, so that attribute, that quality, right?
Yep.
Even though it resulted in you being in and out of jail and racking up DUIs, that quality's been running through you for a long time. Since my older brother told me I was wrong for the first time and we threw hands. Oh, do you remember that moment?
No, not
You
defiantly.
just know it happened.
I remember lots of moments that were like that,
Okay.
But
so
there was guys that so you go on a construction site, and there's guys on the construction site that when no one's looking, they go over and sit down.
Oh yeah.
They go to the Johnny on the spot to go use the bathroom,
15, 20 minutes.
Well, they're there for longer than that. I had the runs.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You were in there
on your phone,
hanging out, not doing nothing, just trying not to work.
Yeah.
And then you got other guys that are looking for those guys, and they're not even the boss. Hey, where'd so and so go? Or you see them get out of the truck. And they don't ask what to do. They watched, they learned the last times. They know they need to get these fence posts marked thrown off the truck, carried out, and you see them taking initiative. And when you see someone taking initiative, it's kind of hard to ignore.
Gotcha.
Especially whenever you're looking for leaders, and so whenever you're looking for leaders, you see the guys that are there just for a paycheck, and then you see the guys that are there for more and want more. And I think a lot of it is, it ain't even half the time me just saying, I see you, you're doing awesome, I appreciate your hard work. Half the time that means more to the person than giving them money.
Yeah, no. So this is something that I think is really interesting. A friend of mine sent me this video off the Diary of the CEO, which is one of my favorite podcasts, and this guy tried to claim that employees and stuff, it's like all they care about is the money, right?
Right.
And I am pretty confident that's been studied endlessly. It is absolutely not true.
Not true at all. Not true.
And so and it's always been one of the things I've struggled with, because for me, that's all I actually care about.
Right.
In regards to as a measurement of what the work that I've done or whatever. Like if you value me and appreciate me, you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
I don't need your little printed off certificate telling me I'm employee of the hour.
Right.
Stuck in a 99-cent frame and put on a wall.
You want the dollars. You want the verification.
So I've always had a hard time building the system that gives people the recognition, the acknowledgement, letting them know that they're being seen, they're being heard.
Yeah.
Because I'm like lazy. I just want to like, look, you made me X amount of dollars, you get 5% of it. Merry Christmas. That's your thanks.
Yep.
Get out of my face. Go do it again. Like, and then
that's me to an extent, 100%.
Well, I think it's got to be every business owner, right?
Yes.
And maybe that's why we all struggle with how to manage employees. Right? Do you think maybe that's one of the key psychological differences between a business owner and people who are not business owners, is that we're so focused on bottom line and covering expenses and meeting payroll and all the rest of it, that we start to think everybody operates like us and everybody's motivated by the things we are. And we don't do
the same.
Yeah, we need to do a better job of creating this system in place that lets them know that they're appreciated and that they're valued, and it's in ways other than money.
It's probably one of the hardest things to juggle as a business owner, to be able to find the time to show them the appreciation. You get so caught up and so busy in the day to day, and you don't even know that maybe one of your guys is struggling, and all you need to do is say, "Hey, man, I appreciate you."
Yeah. I
take them out to a lunch. Go pick them up. Go take them out. Get a Subway sandwich or something. You know?
I struggle walking in, and my front desk guy. Like, what's funny is I really like him.
Yeah.
I specifically hired him.
Right.
And yet I have no time for him.
Yep. I'm with
our entire interaction.
And he struggles because of it. He's looking at you going, hey.
Yeah, you hired me. And our entire interaction is me going, hey, good morning.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a shitty boss.
Yep. I am that guy to an extent, 100%.
All right. Tomorrow I'm going to offer him a foot rub. No,
what is it? What'd you
I said, tomorrow I'm going to offer him a foot rub.
Yeah.
Let me show you how appreciate you are. Come here. Give me those feet.
Here.
Luckily
Where's
it's
it
Saturday.
hurt at?
Luckily, luckily it's Saturday, so I don't have to. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things. So you think your brother, you said the first time your brother told you were wrong, you think that did something inside of you?
Yeah, because we're buddies, we're best buddies, we're brothers, we're tight as ever. We do all this shit together. I was so strong in my head, or even my dad, whoever it was, in my head, I'm right, but the other person just so strongly agrees that, in their head that I'm wrong. And I still to this day know I'm right. But
being a business owner requires a lot of that, though.
It does. It also requires a lot of you being able to hold yourself accountable, because who else is going to hold you accountable?
Yeah, no one.
And that's probably some of the hardest things to do, is to look and be like, maybe I am ignoring that front desk guy a little bit more than I should have.
Yeah.
I did tell him that I was going to hire him and train him.
Yeah.
But
no, I think that's an excellent point that you make. So like, one of the things that I do is I have 3 different kind of like accountability coaches. And then I also create an environment where my employees can hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And that's a tough one because sometimes they run away with it.
Yep.
And you got to kind of reestablish that, hey, at the end of the day, like, I appreciate your
I
input.
am your boss.
By the end of the day, this is my business.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But I do like having my employees be able to like call me out.
Right. I try to keep that door open.
Yeah.
I always tell them, hey, if something's wrong, let's talk about it. Let's sit down. Let's figure it out. There's nothing out there that we can't talk about and figure it out together. And if at the end of the day we don't agree, then we don't agree, but at least we try.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, it's not like I'm going to think you're any dumber than I already think you are.
To put it bluntly, yeah. I mean, my mind's already made up.
Yeah.
I knew that a long time ago.
You're going to hurt my opinion.
Sharpest pencil in the box, but that's okay. You can mix concrete real well.
That's right.
You're damn good at carrying out posts. A guy told me one time, it blew my mind. He goes, my grandpa told me. I said, what? He said, boy, if you can't finish school, you can finish concrete. And this is a guy that talks just like that when he was telling me this. And I was like, oh, my God.
Well,
can't finish school, you can finish concrete. And he was 100% right. There's a job for everybody. It don't matter. Everybody's got a call in. Everybody's got a spot or a position, if you want it. It's just a matter of what you want.
Yeah.
Some people are okay with being the third guy, the laborer on a job that never gets to nail a picket up or that never gets to, run the machine.
Yeah. There might be a period of time in their life where they're okay with that. And then there might come a period of time where they're not, they get motivated, right?
My guy, Brandon, came to me 2 years ago and he said, boss, I want some more money. I was like, man, that's awesome. It's like, me too.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks at me like that was crazy. And he's like, well, I guess I'm asking you if I can have more money. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'd love to give you more money, Brandon. I really, really would. I said, you want to know how you make more money? He goes, how? I said, you got to make the boss more money. And he kind of looked at me and he's like, well, how do I do that? I said, Brandon, you've been here for almost 3 years. There's been people come off the street, come get a job, and within 2 weeks, they're your boss. And you've worked here for years.
Wow.
And you are letting them be your boss. I said, so that's my question to you is why haven't you came to me and said, I want to install my own fence for the first time? And so that's my question to you, Brandon. What do you want? You want more, then you need to do more. So, do you want to be a crew leader? And he goes, that's exactly what I want. I want to be able to build my own fences. I said, okay, then I know you can do it. I know you can. I just don't know if you knew that you can. And kind of just gave him that little bit of faith in him, and telling him. That's
awesome.
Yeah, just tell him, I know you can do it. It's up to you. And once I could have forced him into it.
Yeah.
I could have been like, hey, you're a crew leader now. And
I don't think it works.
It wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't have been the same outcome.
Yeah.
But now he wants it.
Yeah.
When he wants it, oh, it's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember the first time I challenged him. This is a job on paperwork I'm looking at going, there is no way that he's going to be able to go up and get this done. And I was looking at one of my other guys going, he probably could, but he was on a big job already that needed him. And so I was kind of in a spot. And I remember pulling Brandon in that morning. I said, Brandon, here's the job. It was like 600 feet of privacy fence, 6 foot tall in Excelsior Springs, an hour and 20 minutes away. I said, if I give you a total of 4 guys, so 2 two-man crews, 2 trucks. I said, if I give you those guys, I said, can you go up there and get that fence tore out and all the posts set by the end of the day? And he looked at me. I thought for sure he was going to say, I don't know. But he looked at me and he goes, I'll get it done. If I would have forced him into that position, that man right there would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But now because it's all on his back and it's on him to prove himself, he looked at me and he goes, challenge accepted. 7 o'clock, he's calling me. We're on our way back to the shop. We're all done. I said, you got to be kidding me, Brandon. You got to be kidding me. You really did it. He's like, I did it. We're done. I was like, right on.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, just because he believed in himself. Maybe because I believed in him too. Of course. But he finally asked the hard question and he got his hard answer.
So, is anybody in that position, do they ever acknowledge to you that they can see what you've done?
Employees?
Yeah, like right there with that guy, right?
Him.
You think that guy has any idea what you actually truly did at the core? Or you think they just don't even get it?
Brandon specifically was there from day one. So he got to physically.
No, I mean what
witness it.
I mean what you did for him.
Oh,
What you did for him, the way you handled it, right?
I don't.
So
think
he
they
worked
have
for you
any
for
clue.
no clue.
Not the thought process at all. Even if I tried breaking it down, it wouldn't make sense. I think, just because they don't see it in the same picture frame as I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
I think I'd love to interview your employees.
Yeah, Brandon be a hell of a one.
He's
Blunt, boy. He'll say exactly what's on his mind.
Yeah.
He don't care.
Like 3 years of letting him do his thing, calling him out on it while you wait for him to show interest.
Yeah.
You call him out on it, and then you give him the opportunity.
Yeah. And he succeeds.
But if it's not done in that order, I don't think you get the result.
Never. It was all just kind of letting the current take me.
Yeah.
Letting the current take me and not trying to force it, because I could have forced it.
Yeah.
I could have been like, hey, Brandon, from now on, you're doing this, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And he would have done it, but it wouldn't have been the same outcome, I don't think.
So what do you think? What do you think allows you the patience to just sit there in the current and let things flow to you?
A lot of failures, and out of those failures, hope and my faith growing because of those moments and the answers that I get when I ask them. And so it just gives me the courage and not even hope anymore, but like I feel like I know, like the destiny, like the road I'm going down is already made. I just gotta
it's
walk
already
down
been
it.
written, right?
Just got to go down it and just not fall off. And that's the thing too, is man, there'll be days whenever I'm fighting something, and all of a sudden I realize I'm like, God, take this from me. I can't do this anymore. It's driving me nuts. I walk away, and then I don't even realize that it just worked itself out.
Yeah.
Later on, it hits me, and I'm like, holy shit. I forgot all about that, but it's totally fine. And the thing about it, it's always been fine. It's always going to be okay.
Yeah.
Even through the triumphs and tribulations and hard times. But the sharpest steel goes through the most immense fire over and over and over and over again. That's what makes it hardened. Diamonds are made under the most immense pressure in this world.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to succeed in life, fail. That's probably the best advice.
You got to put yourself in a position to fail.
I watch my kids get close to danger, and I hear my wife, ooh, and she's jumping to save him.
Yep.
I'm all about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna let my kid just off himself. It ain't happening. But there's also situations where they're on the edge and they're looking over, and I could say, hey, get down.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, so one of my favorite people, Jordan Peterson, talks about how your job as a parent is to let your kids do dangerous things safely.
Yeah, safely. Yep. My kids got 4-wheelers, dude. They're 4 and 6. And they got 70cc 4-wheelers that say 11 years old.
That's awesome.
Right? And my daughter, she's 4. She gets on that thing and she does not let off the throttle. She just is flying, turning, flying, and she's never went off of it. She doesn't know the danger yet.
Yeah.
And I try to tell her about it, but every time she gets back on there, so I governed the 4-wheeler down to where it wouldn't go as fast, right?
Okay.
Well, it still goes as fast.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get there that fast.
Oh, gotcha.
But once it's up to speed,
it's cruising.
it holds the speed. And so now she was just holding it down the entire time, never letting it off. So finally, I just backed the governor down so that way I felt like at least, she had a little bit more control. But that's the thing. It's like, I hope and pray, that they're safe and, nothing ever does happen from them. But, you
life, man.
You look up how many people die on a 4-wheeler.
Can't stop it.
Yep, there ain't, and that's, for me, it's that walk of faith, blind faith.
Yeah.
Just going, letting that current take you.
Yeah. So, what are your plans with your business? You're doing $3 million a year.
Yep.
I imagine you're pretty comfortable.
Yep.
What are you doing to stay uncomfortable and to keep growing?
Hiring people.
Okay.
one thing my dad told me a long time ago when I first started, I told him I was needing employees, but everyone that would show up, he'd quit and then I'd be without one. He's like, well, how many employees do you need? I said, I just need like 1 to 3 that are really good. He's like, okay, so how many employees are you gonna hire? I was like, I guess 3. And he's like, why? I said, well, that's what I can afford. And he goes, well, okay, well, out of those 3 employees, how many are gonna stay? I'm like, well, so far none.
Yeah.
The last 3 I've hired are gonna quit. He goes, exactly. So if you need 3, hire 3 times the amount of that. So hire at least 10 of them.
Yeah.
He goes, and out of the 10 of them, you might get 3, and out of those 3, you might get 1 that actually stays with you.
Yeah.
And it just started to make sense. And I was ignoring those opportunities that were coming my way. I was telling you about the opportunities coming and use the order to go after those opportunities. And if they pass by you, you learn a lesson and you remember. Well, he's telling me this, and I'm going, I've been letting all those go by. Why am I not saying yes when somebody asks me for help? I need a job. And giving them a chance. Oh, because I can't afford 1 more person on payroll? Bullshit. Travis is about to quit. Or, so-and-so's, you don't know it yet, but he's gone this Thursday. He's going to up and quit on you. And if I didn't have 10 extra guys sitting on the sideline, I'd be calling customers saying, I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I'm sorry, I don't have any help.
Yeah.
And so kind of just, I don't even know where I was going with that, but
Well, we were talking about like what's your goals of the business? What are you doing to keep growing, keep pushing the envelope? Being uncomfortable, right? You got to stay that way.
I've never been in more debt with my suppliers in my entire business life than this year.
Oh, okay.
I started out this year with over 100 grand in debt with them, right? Just this huge number. Now I got a lot of money out, and it's all adding up close to, but it's not adding up for me, everything. So I'm looking at it going, well, this is cool. I'm already starting behind.
Yeah.
Which every winter is kind of like that. So this year is a big growth year. It's a big year for me to be like, I instead of trying to fight the current and fix this situation, pay attention to what's in front of me and let it happen.
Yeah.
A big part is I hired on a guy that if I'm not there, everything's fine. He takes care of it all. He handles.
Oh, that's awesome.
He took my job. I mean, he literally took my job, and he knew nothing about fence, but he owned his own business for 10 years. He was one of my friends. He called me and said, I'm sick, Gabe. I can't sleep at night for 10 years. I'm just done. He's like, so would you hire me? And so he was a huge key. And so all of a sudden now I'm starting to replace myself in other areas.
That's a huge step.
Yeah. And so now there's a little bit of uncomfortableness because there's added payroll, and now you have to find added revenue. You got to make up for it, or you hope that it does.
Yeah.
So for me, growing it is just kind of, paying attention to what's in front of me, taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of me. But probably the biggest thing is taking the opportunities and the risks with the people, that come my way. When somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I need a job, for me, it's kind of a serious thing. It's like, this could really change their life in a good way or a bad way, to an extent. And I got a choice to lead them the right way or the wrong way, so.
That's cool.
Growing it is just one of those things that I don't know. I really don't know nothing about business. I don't. 5 years now into the business, I'm still learning something every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm also learning something about my business. It's just, it doesn't stop. If you quit learning, you might as well die, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll sleep when I die, kind of, mindset.
Yeah.
So, however it happens, I'll grow it. If it doesn't, hey, whatever. If it goes backwards, that's fine too. I'm good with whatever happens.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay. So has anybody come to you and tried to buy you yet?
I've been approached. Yes, probably. My old boss approached me.
Really?
Yeah. But he approached me through a buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I basically told him, I said, you'll never have anything in my life ever again.
Yeah.
You had a chance, you threw me away.
Yeah.
But I've had some people offer some opportunities. I just haven't taken it too seriously yet. I've thought about it in my head. I've talked about it with my wife. If it was the right number, I'd probably walk away just so that way I could start something else.
Okay. What would you start?
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on, I really don't know. You know, I don't know if it'd be another fence company. If I'd go after it that way and just target another city. I don't know if it'd be something along the lines of, non-for-profits, something helping the community. I don't know, man. Like I said, I was lost for a lot of years. And so I really didn't have, people finding me and being like, here, let's, help each other.
Yeah.
I was just I threw it all away and finally just had to look myself in the mirror, and that was the choice. So.
How cool.
Yep.
Well, I think everybody always tells me I should write a book.
Yeah.
I think you should write a book.
It'd be a heck of a book.
Well,
you have not even touched the surface, I'm telling you.
No, I'm sure. And we probably need 10 hours. But it just, it's the ultimate, to me, you're the ultimate American dream story.
It's the American dream.
Right?
Yep.
And it's interesting to me too. It's like everybody's got challenges, everybody has disadvantages, everybody's got problems in life.
Yep. It's how you respond.
But yeah, it's
a lot like golf. I don't know if you've ever been golfing. But you can make
just a little.
You can make the crappiest shot off the tee box.
Yeah.
And still go up and shoot birdie somehow, some way. It's all about how you respond to life's.
Oh, I thought it was all about how you filled out the scorecard.
That too. Or your belly with beer on there. What I see a lot of people doing, which is fine. Hey, I'm all for it. I seen a guy yesterday throw a club completely out of his hands when he swung, and everyone around me was like, I've never seen that before.
What?
I swear.
Oh, that's
and he
hilarious.
took the biggest swing too.
Yeah, well, that's probably why his club flew away. So, yeah. All right, man. Well, I hope that people listening to this get as much value as I do. And I appreciate you being authentic and open and sharing your story with us.
Yep. You're welcome. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Gabe.
So, yeah, buddy. See you guys.
Bye. Names get remembered in this city for a reason. What you said in that seat, it's part of yours now. And whether they get it or not, Casey heard you. Backseat ballers, where the ones who built it finally speak.